Anyway, I feel like this is one of the features with the folding phone. It's just the even with the new Fold 8 coming out and the Fold 8 Ultra, and I know Pixel's coming out with their 11 and the Fold and everything, and then iPhone's going to come out with their first iPhone Fold. But this is the issue: is it's open and you have this beautiful 8-inch display, but then all you have to do if you want it this size, which is only really the size comparison. It's like for anything, if you want to go from 11 to a 13-inch or whatever it is, what's the point if it's not going to be used? You know, at least with tablets and iPads, and if you're using a monitor and stuff, they give you these different operating systems. And with this, in mobile, it just doesn't have any features that would be worth an upgrade that cost, what, double or almost double the price? For instance, if I had any phone, so a slab phone, we're talking about an XL or a Pro Max or a Pixel XL, the largest ones, whether it be the 10 or the 9 or whichever, we're bringing the mainstream flagship, the S26 Ultra, the whole Ultra models for that Galaxy. If you have a phone and we brought it next to it, it would be this dimension here. It would be about this, almost as wide and definitely as tall, or even a little bit taller, and very, very close to the width. And so when you have an 8-inch screen here, all of it is just, there's nothing here. The operating systems, it's just these bars, black bars that they call it, or empty space that they could be using features. And yes, it's a picture obviously, but there's so much more they could be doing. Like literally just a 3/4 of an inch on each side. So what's the point of having something that's 5.5 inches wide, and then the 2 inches that are on 1 inch on both sides? What's the point if you're just going to have a nothingness space? And that's what I'm saying. It's like the operating systems have to change, because it's the same thing like working on a mobile versus a Windows or a MacBook OS, more of a PC laptop type. And with the foldable phones, that's why it doesn't make sense, because if you have any of the phones that I said, the S26 Ultra, the Pro Max 17, and any of those, even the previous, let's just say this, if you have a 6.7-inch screen or a 6.8 or 6.9, it's going to be this same size. That's like what its format is. So when you open it and the width, the only thing that you're going to get with that is maybe mobile gaming. But there's so many other devices. Why wouldn't you just get a tablet, an iPad, a Switch? And there's so many different things. And you can say, with all these things, when you compare the price of almost a $2,000, or with tax, a $2,500, depending on how much storage you decide to purchase, at that rate, you could literally get yourself a high budget tablet or iPad with all of its accessories, or you can get a gaming console, whether it be the Switch or iPad, or Switch or the PS5 or the Xbox or whichever, plus a brand new phone. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And sure, like I said, this phone opens to an 8-inch screen. But what is it giving you? If I had the phone right next to it, which I decided to get the phone out just to show you, look at that. So it's basically just putting a regular slab phone, and it's the same size. And then if you look at the spaces, you just have nothingness. So why would I pay $1,000 more for that? Just so that maybe in some photos, maybe in some games, in some apps, you take advantage of it, but in the majority you won't? Then just get a tablet. Just get another you could literally afford it with another $1,000. And yes, I've seen the Fold 8, and either I have shown you the video in this video before, after, or in a different video, that the Fold 8, it's beautifully just as wide, perfect, 3.25 inch, beautiful. But then they made it so short that you're missing around a 3/4 inch, which doesn't make any sense, because when you open it, yeah, it's lightweight, great feel, all this and that. But then when you open it up and then turn it to the side, it's literally the same size as a slab phone. So basically it's a fold, or it's basically a flip, because the screen is smaller, and yes, it's wide enough, but now to watch it in a bigger display, which is why you want a more, instead of carrying around such a big phone in the hand, as in the weight plus the screen size, which is beautifully wide, but they made it so short that when by the time you open it and then you rotate it this way, it's the same size as any screen. That if it's a S26 Ultra, any slab phone, the Pro XL, the Pro Maxes, it's the same size as a regular size phone, or a regular big, I guess what they call it is flagship phone. So that doesn't make any sense. If they could have just made the perfect phone by, instead of giving it the 5.5 inch with the Fold 8, it's give it the 5.9, and then it would have been perfect. Everybody would have bought it, because then it's what everybody wanted.